How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good out there. White Bow Sarge here. Welcome to the channel. We do all things from hunting, fishing, anything outdoors. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to check out some of my other content. But today's video ain't about that. Today's video is about what's been going on in my life for the past couple months. And it's kind of a warning to everybody. So, about 2 months ago, I was working in Grand Bay and I got bit by a tick. Didn't think nothing about it. It was the first time I'd been bit by a tick though, but just didn't think nothing about it. Just kept going about my life. A few days later, it starts kind of swelling up a little bit. But still didn't think, you know, it's a bug bite. Bug bites swell up, you know. And, but it kept getting bigger. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the lymph nodes in my leg started to swell up. And it started hurting. That's really what got my attention. It's like, okay, something's wrong, you know. So that same day my lymph nodes swelled up. I started feeling really bad. Just was not good. And I went home, and then that next day it just kept getting worse, day after day. It just kept getting worse. And I think it was probably 2 days after I started feeling bad, I was like, we need to go to the doctor. I connected it together because I got bit by a tick, swelled up. A few days later, I started feeling bad, and my lymph nodes on the same leg started to swell up. So I was like, it's got to be something to do with the tick. So we go to the ER, and you know, they take all the blood tests and everything. Nothing comes back positive for the tick, but they say, you know, that's probably what it is. And she wouldn't technically diagnose me with it, but said it's probably something called T-Ebola. It's just a tick-borne illness. It's really rare. Well, puts me on some antibiotics and says, you know, this should take care of it, no big deal. I took the antibiotics, started to feel a little bit better, it seemed like. But as soon as I got towards the end of my antibiotics, or I think it was like a day or two after I got done taking my antibiotics, it just came back full force. And these symptoms are crazy. Like, I feel like you feel like you're just you're so dizzy. The only way I can explain it is you're drunk. You feel like you're drunk, but you also feel terrible. Like it's one of the worst feelings I've ever had. I go back to the doctor. I get put on more antibiotics. I start taking those, and I'm still just staying sick. Don't feel like it's touching it right now. I ended up going back to the ER again. I think that's the time that I actually got, I think that's the time I got admitted into the hospital. I went to the ER like 3 times, so they getting kind of mixed up. But we stayed adamant that it had something to do with this tick bite. We had doctors coming in there, neurology doctors saying, no, it's nothing to do with the tick bite. It's just vertigo, it's, you know, just this, just that. And then you had some doctors coming in saying, no, this is definitely the tick bite, you know, clearly it is. So we're hearing all these different things. Still, none of my blood works came back positive for tick bites, but still, it's clearly the tick bite. So I get admitted into the hospital. For the next 3 days, I'm getting blood taken just constantly. I mean, people's coming in taking blood every couple hours, 3, 4 to sometimes more than that. I get an MRI done, and it comes back that I have some swelling in my something like called vestibular nerves in my brain, on the left side of my brain. Just an inflammation is what they said, and it can be caused by infection, which the infection could be from the tick bite, and that can cause a lot of the dizziness and these symptoms that I'm getting. So they treated that with steroids, you know, and the steroids really started helping me feel better. But we still really didn't have an answer of why that had swollen up. You know, it just says sometimes an infection can do it. So after the MRI was done, I actually had a spinal tap where they stick a needle into your spine and they pull the fluid that's inside of your spine, they pull that away from it. And it's supposed to be able to tell you all this stuff, you know, kind of like blood work, but more in depth, more information. Saying a lot of them tests take a long time to come back. Well, I get sent home, you know, and waiting to hear back from results. I go to the doctor like a month later. I was just getting off the steroids. Like, they had me on steroids for a very long time, thankfully. And she tells me that some of my tests did end up coming back, and I've tested positive for Rocky Mountain fever, which is a tick disease, but it's usually up north, you know, in the Rocky Mountains, like Kentucky, I guess, in like Tennessee and stuff, but not down in South Alabama, not in Grand Bay, Alabama. So I get put back on more antibiotics, and this is I've been told that you could be on antibiotics for up to a year to make sure that this don't come back, because it just lingers. And I've seen that. As soon as I'd get off my medicine, this happened like 3 times, as soon as I'd get off my medicine, the symptoms would come right back, and it seemed like they'd come back worse, which is kind of crazy. After that, I went back to the neurology doctor, and they said that, you know, the neurology doctor said that this stuff could take a year for me to get back to normal. Now, I feel pretty much 100% now. I will still lose my balance sometimes, especially like when I first wake up in the morning. It can be kind of bad, but for the most part, I'm 100%. I'm back to working out, back to fishing, hunting, working, everything. But they said it could be a year for me to get back to where I'm going, for me to get back to 100%. This video, so I guess what the point of this video is to warn y'all that even though you might be in a place that these ticks don't carry these diseases, to be careful. Like, be cautious walking through this tall grass. I know if you're anything like me and you hunt, you're just outdoors all the time, you're gonna be in the bushes, you're gonna be walking through tall grass. It's just what we do. But take the precautions. Put bug spray on if you can. The permethrin, however you say that, I've heard that works great. I haven't gotten none yet, but I would definitely be getting some for this hunting season. It's supposed to be scentless. It's supposed to protect your clothes from ticks getting on them. Wear pants if you can. All this stuff, because you can definitely get this disease from down here. And if you don't catch this disease in time, luckily I started feeling bad and I went straight to the doctor. I didn't wait around and see what was gonna happen. I didn't see if it was just gonna pass by. But you know, a lot of times that's what we do. But I just had that feeling I needed to go. But they say if you don't catch this in time, it can be really bad, where it can all the symptoms can last your whole life. I think it can even be fatal sometimes. It can give you a red meat allergy, which that'd be terrible for me. Like all these things, if you don't catch it in time, it can just really mess up your life. So if you ever get bit by a tick and you start feeling bad, just go straight to the doctor. Do not hesitate, and stay persistent with it, because apparently that's common with these tick illnesses, is that they will not show up on the test. Like, your blood test won't come back positive until later on in the sickness for some reason. And that's what happened to me. Like a month into my sickness is when the test started coming back that I was actually showing stuff. So be persistent, keep going to the doctor, make sure somebody's listening to you. Getting on antibiotics is the most important thing as soon as you can. I think it was the doxycycline is what they put me on. So that's all this video was about, was just a warning, and let y'all know why I was not able to post for a while. But I'm back 100%, fishing, hunting, getting footage out there for y'all. So if you would, please go check out the rest of my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever had a tick illness. So that's it for now. Thank y'all.